Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Wow. Thank you, HAYMON. Now, there's been a long backstory with this particular fight. First of all, make sure you guys like and subscribe. But it's looking like Berto versus Shawn will be announced for April 22nd at the Barclays. And it looks like they're going to do it in between the Garcia-Thurman fight, which is a hell of a day. A lot of times they do this. This is, if you guys, for those who don't cover media, so you know, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll have fighter roundtables and announcements in between, like the days of another major fight, because it just makes all the sense. They already have all the writers, they all have the photographers, they have all the boxing journalists and reporters right there covering Garcia-Thurman. So why not make the announcement then if it's already a done deal, finalized and stuff? So it's looking like we're gonna get Berto, Shawn Porter, Berto. And there's been a backstory. I talked to Berto maybe a month ago, and the videos are up on the page. He says he didn't really like how the situation was handled. Like, where's he didn't hear anything from his team, and then just getting a FaceTime call from Shawn Porter, it just like caught him off guard. Like, what is this? That's not how business is conducted. Then there was like a little spat on Twitter, but it's looking like the camps have agreed for a fight, and I'm just waiting for the official announcement, April 22nd. Now, I gotta be real with you guys. If you guys follow my channel for any length of time, you'll know I keep it a buck, and I'm a realist, and I give credit where credit's due. HAYMON, Showtime, Premier Boxing Champions, first quarter, second quarter of this year, 2017, are literally murking the competition, murdering. In the words of Demolition Man, MDK, murder, death, kill. And they just been holding it down. Not to say there's no other good fights. Like, people want to see Canelo Chavez, that's a good fight. Golovkin Jacobs, that's an HBO fight. But aside from pay-per-views with the regular network, what has HBO really and truly provided us for on their regular programming? They did have a fight with Miguel Berchelt versus Francisco Vargas. He pulled the upset, stopped Francisco Vargas. I don't even know why they gave Vargas that tough of a schedule, but that's just me. That was on the same night as the fight that I covered, which was the Showtime bill, which to me was the better card since they were competing, dueling telecasts. And that was the fight that I covered with Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz 2, where Leo Santa Cruz avenged his first ever career loss and gave Frampton his first career loss. And then Mikey Garcia knocked out champion Dejan Zlaticanin, and he did it in brutal fashion, right? So to me, I thought Showtime had the better card of that night. In addition, they've had Badou Jack versus James DeGale. We've seen it all. We've seen rough and tumble, back and forth fight of halves. We've seen James DeGale get his teeth knocked out. We've seen Floyd Mayweather, he said it was a robbery. You know what I'm saying? You've seen on the undercard Tank Davis, he stepped up in competition, showed out, strap season, got an IBF championship belt by stopping a very durable champion, Jose Pedraza, who beat Tevin Farmer, who had signature wins like Edner Cherry, and he got stopped for the first time. So that was a great card. The Badou Jack James DeGale fight, a lot of people consider that one of the contenders for Fight of the Year. And in addition, Showtime's given us Broner Granados. I covered that fight live too. That was a fun fight. Granados, he showed some boxing ability, pushed Broner to the brink. And Broner used his hand speed and worked with the injury, pulled a split decision. Lamont Peterson returned after like 16 months. I thought he looked good and started really opening up on the mandatory for Keith Thurman's WBA belt, which will be established if Keith Thurman remains the WBA champion this week in another fun fight. And it's another Showtime fight. CBS is the parent company of Showtime, so it's all under the same umbrella. That's Garcia Thurman. You got Chad Dawson, Andres Fanfara. Shout out to my dude Fanfara. Just crazy, man. Like this schedule is tough. Like I said, HBO does have some good fights. I don't care in the grand scheme of things, I just call it how it is. If HBO, there's been times where HBO had the torch, and I gave them credit for that, but that's not the case right now. Showtime is getting it done. They have put these marquee fights on back-to-back. Berto versus Shawn Porter. I mean, that's any way you slice it, no matter who you pick, that should be a exciting fight. Neither guy has a style that is quote-unquote boring or running or whatever people, casual fans, say they don't like, right? I can picture one or both guys getting hurt in that particular fight. You have two athletic guys. You got guys with different speeds. Like, Porter is just fast to like get in position, but Berto's just all around fast, snappy power, explosive power, and he's coming off of a stoppage. He avenged his first ever pro loss to Victor Ortiz, stopped him after getting knocked down. I was at that fight, covered that fight at the StubHub Center, so it's just good. I mean, Shawn Porter has complained ever since the Thurman fight. He hasn't really been getting fights that he wanted. At one point, he wanted Ruslan, and Ruslan lost to John Molina. He was down to fight John Molina, but John Molina ended up getting a Crawford fight, got stopped by Crawford. So the names started dwindling down. A lot of people weren't really calling out Shawn Porter, and he's just been on the sidelines since Keith Thurman. And I know he wants to get back into action. You know, Ray Thurman's getting his second big payday for winning the Porter fight. Some people had Porter winning, and he's getting that this Saturday, Garcia Thurman. Now, Berto versus Porter, just a good fight, man. And then on top of that, here's an addition. From my understanding, Rances Bartholomew is supposed to fight on the same card, and that's against Kirill Relic, which is the guy a lot of people thought made Ricky Burns look shitty, and a lot of people thought that Relic beat Burns. You know what I mean? So if you watch boxing, and Rances Bartholomew, shout out to Cuba, he's a good fighter. He's a champion. I think he moved up, but he was a champion at 35 and whatnot. He beat Mickey Bay in his last, I think that was his last fight. And to have a card like that, I mean, it's just, Heyman's looking unstoppable right now, because not only is he giving you quantity, but he's also giving you quality. He's making double and triple and quadruple headers. Like when I went to that Broner Granados card, I was thoroughly enjoying it. Like the weigh-ins, there were some pretty intense weigh-ins. Marcus Brown and Thomas Top Dog Williams acted like they hated each other. There was some confusion with the scale. Broner and Granados were like shadow boxing. And then to see all those three fights on Showtime, well, I mean, I watched it live, but for everyone else that didn't watch it, wasn't in Cincinnati, to get to see a triple header, and that was a free preview weekend, so they streamed the fight on Twitter. And even if you didn't have Showtime regularly, you get to watch that Broner Granados card for free. So that folk free, everybody likes folk free. Now Berto Porter with Kirill Relic and Rances Bartholomew, he's putting names on cards. It's just it's getting harder and harder to compete. And like I said, when I look at the HBO scope, when I look at the HBO picture, they do have some intriguing fights that I want to see, but if not, the only one I could think of off the top of my head that is not pay-per-view that I want to see is Curtis Stevens versus David Lemieux. I think that's a good fight. Shout out to that fight. Golden Boy got that fight together. I did a Boxingego first look. If you want the tail of the tape, that's on the channel already. And I'm looking forward to that. But in the grand scheme of things, I even said it in the first look, that particular fight is not necessarily the most meaningful. It's just a fight you can, because both guys lost to the best middleweight, Golovkin. You know what I mean? They both got stopped by Golovkin. So it's not going to look good for the loser, but the winner can go on to get another, you know what I mean, big fight, a big name fight or whatnot. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the most meaningful in the middleweight division. It's just a fun fight overall. So I'm okay. I'm a realistic person. So if a fight is just a all-around fun, entertaining fight, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Not every single fight is going to be the most meaningful Garcia Thurman that really shaped the division, or Kell Brook versus Errol Spence, or Danny Jacobs versus Golovkin. Not every fight can be like that. And I'm real and realistic to that notion. But at the end of the day, most of the other HBO fights that I can think of are on their premium network. You would have to get, even if you had HBO, you would still have to buy Canelo Chavez on pay-per-view. You still have to buy Golovkin versus Jacobs on pay-per-view. And Jacobs is a HAYMON fighter too, so that's partly HAYMON making that particular fight as well as K2 promotion. So I mean, Al Haymon, Showtime, Premier Boxing Champs, they just got the torch. They're just making it very, very hard to compete. They're stacking cards. They're putting on compelling fights. And it's just all the people who said Al Haymon ruined boxing and he's the cancer, you're looking real dumb. Some of the people who were saying that, some of the writers, you don't see their articles, their channels, you don't really hear about them anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I told you guys at the beginning of the year, like Will Smith said in Concussion, tell the truth. Tell the truth. You gotta tell the truth, man. People are no dummies. People, I'm not perfect. I'm not always right, but I try to call it fair and try to call it how I see. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I feel like my channel's growing. I'm meeting a lot of people, networking and stuff like that. And it shows. It's just because I'm a boxing fan, you know what I'm saying? But some of the people who clearly had an agenda and they hate all black fighters or all Al Haymon fighters or all this fighter or all that fighter, you're starting to see the unraveling. Where are those? Where are those people? It's just like they shot themselves in the foot and they have no credibility. You said Al Haymon was the cancer of boxing, but what fight is everybody looking forward to this weekend? Not an HBO fight, not a Golden Boy, a top rank fight, not this promotion, Gary Shaw, not the, it's Al Haymon presentation. Same thing with last week. Deontay Wilder, he fought Gerald Washington. You know what I mean? He's like keeping boxing afloat with all these cards. Then on that card, they put Caleb Plant, a rising guy moving through the ranks. They put an IBF title fight, Tony Harrison versus Jared Swift-Hurd. And that was a step up for Swift-Hurd. And Harrison made him work for that because he was losing that fight. You know what I mean? The Dominic Brazil Ungana or whatever his name is, that was an all-out war. So it's like, it's a mixed bag. He's giving you everything you want. Now you're getting like Berto Porter, which is people said that Berto was scared or this wouldn't happen. And again, where are all those critics that said Haymon was killing the sport and this and that? Because they're turning ghosts. Where are they? You know what I mean? Berto Porter is a good fight, and anyone that says different is probably just hating, and they've been hating from the beginning. So, like I said, tell the truth. Drop it in the comment section. Let me know what you think of Berto Porter. Also, Rancis Bartholomew should be on the card versus Kirill Relic. Another great PBC Showtime card. Barclays. I'm loving it. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.